Welcome back to Midlife Awakening. I'm your host, and my name is Z. And this podcast is for anyone walking through that beautiful yet complicated season of rediscovery, where midlife isn't a crisis but a calling. Today, we're exploring one of the most unusual and eye opening stories in the Bible about a stubborn prophet, an angel with a sword, and a talking donkey that quite literally saved a man's life. It's the story of Balaam. And honestly, it's a story about all of us. We often do things for selfish gains and ambitions, ignoring God's will. About those moments when God is trying to get our attention, but we're too driven, too ambitious, too distracted, and too proud to listen. Balaam wasn't an amateur prophet. He was known, respected, and sought after. The kind of spiritual consultant kings would call when they wanted results. One day, the king of Moab, afraid of Israel's growing strength, offers Balaam great riches to curse God's people. But God clearly says, "Do not go with them. You shall not curse these people, for they are blessed." That should have ended the story, but it didn't, because Balaam's heart was divided. He loved the idea of the reward, the prestige, the validation, the wages of wickedness, as Peter puts it. Peter later wrote that Balaam loved the wages of wrongdoing, but was rebuked for his sin by a donkey, a speechless animal that spoke with a human voice and restrained the prophet's madness. Think about that. God had to use a donkey to stop a man who was supposed to speak for him. Balaam kept pushing, looking for a loophole, asking God again and again until God finally said, "Since these men have come to summon you, go with them, but do only what I tell you." In essence, saying, "Since you insist on going, then go, but know that I'm not in it." And isn't that a sobering thought? Sometimes God's greatest act of judgment is to let us have our own way. So Balaam saddles his donkey and heads out, determined, confident, focused on his mission and his reward. But God sends an angel to block his path. Balaam can't see it, only his donkey can. First warning: the donkey sees the angel and swerves into a field. Balaam gets angry and beats it to get back on track. For us, that could be the uneasy feeling, the subtle whisper from God, the nudge that says something isn't right. But we push through, determined to make it work. We beat the donkey. Second warning: the angel stands between two vineyard walls. The donkey presses against the wall and crushes Balaam's foot. He yells and hits it again. The pressure increases. We start feeling it emotionally, physically, spiritually. The headaches, the anxiety, the growing tension. Life is pressing in, trying to slow us down before we destroy ourselves. But instead of listening, we call it bad luck or just stress. Then the third warning: the angel stands in a narrow place where there's no room to move. The donkey collapses under Balaam. Furious, he beats it again. Now, this is the breaking point, the burnout, the breakdown, the forced stop. The moment when everything in you says, I can't keep doing this, and still, like Balaam, we often curse the very thing that's saving us. Then God does the unthinkable. He opens the donkey's mouth. What have I done to you that you have struck me these 3 times? And suddenly, Balaam's eyes are opened. He sees the angel standing before him with a drawn sword. The angel says, Your way is reckless before me. If your donkey had not turned aside, I would have killed you and spared her. The very thing Balaam was cursing, the obstacle that slowed him down, was the only thing keeping him alive. That's what I call the talking donkey moment. It's when God interrupts your path so loudly, so undeniably, that you can no longer ignore it. For some, that donkey moment could be a health scare, a body crying out, Stop before you destroy me. Or it could be a broken relationship, a closed door, a lost job, or an unexpected stillness that feels unfair, but it's mercy in disguise. Your donkey might be the chronic fatigue that forces you to rest, or the anxiety that makes you reevaluate your priorities, or the doctor's warning that saves you from maybe a heart attack. What feels like a setback may actually be saving your life. So let me ask you, what's your donkey? What's that thing in your life that's been resisting your speed, your agenda, your constant pushing? Is it your health, your family, your peace? That still small voice saying, This isn't the way. And how are you responding? Are you listening or are you beating your donkey? For the young ones, learn this early. Pay attention to discomfort. Don't wait for crisis to force clarity. If you're losing peace, sleep, or integrity, it's not God's path. And if you're in midlife, don't let shame keep you from turning around. God isn't trying to punish you, He's trying to protect you. He's not saying you have failed. He's saying, I love you too much to let you destroy yourself. Remember, Balaam's story didn't end in blindness, it ended in awakening. He finally saw, he turned around, he realigned his purpose and used his voice for blessing instead of destruction. That's what happens when we finally listen. The thing that stopped us become the thing that saves us. So if life has been blocking your path lately, don't curse it. Pause. Ask God what He's trying to show you, because sometimes the holiest thing He can do for you is stop you before you destroy yourself. Thank you for joining me today on Midlife Awakening. If this episode spoke to you, share it with someone who might be pushing too hard, ignoring the signs, or walking a dangerous path toward burnout or compromise. Again, be kind to your donkey. It might just be the voice of grace sent to save your life.